You believe you are strong. You believe you are resilient. In the quiet moments, when the world is calm, you believe you are in control of your mind. But what happens when the fire comes? When the pressure builds? What happens when you are truly tested? The ancient Stoics, the masters of the human spirit, were not just thinkers, they were relentless self-examiners. They understood a fundamental truth. You do not know the strength of a sword until it has been struck. You do not know the strength of a mind until it has faced adversity. True strength isn't about what you claim to be, but about how you respond when life puts you to the test. Today, we are not going to learn a theory. We are going to step into the forge. I am going to ask you 5 questions, 5 tests drawn directly from the unyielding wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. This isn't a quiz with easy answers. This is a mirror held up to your soul. Each question is a hammer blow designed to bypass your ego and reveal the true state of your inner fortress. Are its walls forged from solid steel, or are they hollow illusions ready to crumble? Be brutally honest with yourself. The answers will likely make you uncomfortable. But as the Stoics knew, discomfort is the heat in which true strength is forged. So, take a breath. The test is about to begin. Test number 1, the insult test. Imagine the scene. Someone criticizes your work in front of your peers. A stranger online leaves a vicious personal comment. A friend makes a cutting joke at your expense. The stimulus has been delivered. Now the test begins. The question is, what is your first unfiltered gut reaction? Is it that familiar flash of hot anger flooding your chest? A surge of defensive energy, your mind racing to build a fortress of excuses? Is it a desperate, needy impulse to prove them wrong, to argue, to fight back, to restore your wounded pride? Be honest. Feel that initial spark. If that is your reaction, understand this: you have just failed the test. You have just proven that a stranger's words have more power over your inner state than you do. You have just handed them the keys to your peace of mind. The untrained mind instantly fuses itself with the insult. It hears your work is lazy, and its internal operating system translates that to I am lazy. The ego is perceived to be under attack, and it screams for retaliation like a cornered animal. The Stoic mind, however, performs a radical act of mental jujitsu. It creates a space. It catches the words like a thrown spear, and instead of letting them pierce the heart, it lays them on the examination table. It dissects them. First, it asks the most courageous question: is there any truth in this, even a sliver? If the answer is yes, then the critic is not an enemy. They are a free teacher, a harsh but valuable mentor who has just illuminated one of your blind spots. The only rational response, the only virtuous response, is gratitude. You thank them, either outwardly or inwardly, and you get to work. Second, if there is no truth, the Stoic asks, why is this person saying it? And the answer is always about them, not you. Perhaps they are lashing out from their own pain. Perhaps they are ignorant. Perhaps they are simply a fool. As Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. Their insult is a symptom of their sickness, not your reality. To get angry at a sick person is madness. Epictetus gave us the ultimate reframe. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." So, the first test of your mental strength is this. When the world throws insults at you, do you become a raging fire, burning yourself and everything around you? Or do you become a calm scientist, examining a curious specimen? Does their opinion become your reality, or does it just become data? Your micro exercise for this week: the next time you feel insulted, do not respond for 1 full hour. Just observe the feeling. Let it burn without adding fuel. See what's left when the fire dies down. That space is where your strength begins. Test number 2, the Catastrophe Test. The project you poured your soul into for months has just failed spectacularly. You get the email saying you've been laid off. A relationship you thought was forever ends. The plan, the map you drew for your life, is suddenly torn to pieces. The catastrophe has arrived. The storm is not on the horizon, it is here. The question is, when the worst happens, where does your mind immediately go? Does it frantically search for a villain, your boss, the economy, your own perceived stupidity, the cruel whims of fate? Does it spiral into the toxic vortex of what-ifs and if-onlys, replaying the moment of impact on a relentless loop, torturing itself with ghosts of the past? Does it freeze, paralyzed by shock and self-pity? Be honest. If your mind defaults to blame, regret, or paralysis, then you are a victim of your circumstances. You have allowed an external event to conquer your inner citadel. The Stoic mind operates from a different code. It acknowledges the pain. It does not deny it. It grieves. But then it pivots. It understands that while we do not control the script of life, we have absolute, sovereign control over how we perform our role. It asks not, "Why did this happen to me?" but "What does this now make possible?" This is the meaning of the famous Stoic mantra, "The obstacle is the way." Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who faced plague, war, and betrayal, wrote it in his private journal as a reminder to himself. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He saw challenges not as roadblocks, but as raw material. A fire burns down your house. This is a catastrophe. It is pain and loss. But it is also an opportunity to rebuild, to simplify, to realize what truly matters beyond possessions. A crushing failure is humiliating, but it is also a masterclass in humility and a chance to forge true resilience that you could never learn from success. So, the second test of your mental strength is this. When your world shatters, do you spend your energy picking through the rubble, cursing the stones? Or do you pick up a single brick, feel its weight in your hand, and begin to build again? In the face of a wall, do you see an ending, or do you see a doorway? Your micro exercise for this week: think of a past failure that still stings. Instead of replaying the pain, force yourself to write down 3 valuable lessons or strengths you gained because of it. Find the gold in the ruins. Test number 3, the control test. Take a moment. Think about the last 24 hours. Every flicker of anxiety, every surge of frustration, every moment of distraction. Think about where you invested your most precious, non-renewable resource, your mental energy. The question is, what percentage of that energy did you spend focused on things you can control versus things you absolutely cannot? The news headlines, the stock market, what your coworker thinks of you, the traffic, the weather, the past, the future. All of these are outside your direct control. Any second of attention you give them, any ounce of energy you spend mentally trying to will them to be different is utterly wasted. It is pouring your life force into a black hole. Now think about what is in your control. Your attitude right now, the effort you put into your next task, your choice to be kind instead of petty, your decision to go for a walk instead of scrolling, your will to focus on this very moment. This small, humble circle is your only true domain of power. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, knew this truth intimately. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. The vast majority of our suffering is self-inflicted, born from the mental habit of obsessing over the vast, stormy ocean of things we can't control, while ignoring the small, powerful rudder of our own ship, which is always in our hands. This isn't about apathy or inaction. It's about radical efficiency. A blacksmith doesn't waste his time trying to change the fundamental nature of fire. He accepts it for what it is, and then he focuses all his formidable skill on what he can control: the hammer, the steel, and the strength of his own arm. So, the third test is a simple, brutal audit. Look back at your day. Were you a powerless god screaming at the universe to bend to your will? Or were you a master craftsman, utterly focused on your tools and your work, right here, right now? Your micro-exercise for this week: place a rubber band on your wrist. Every time you catch yourself worrying about something you cannot control, the news, the past, another person's opinion, gently snap it, not as punishment, but as a gentle reminder to bring your focus back to your circle. Test number 4, the gratitude test. Stop, right now, in this very moment. Don't just listen, do it. Stop and look around you. Feel the chair beneath you. Notice the light in the room. Think about your life, not your goals or your problems, but the simple reality of your existence. The question is, can you feel a genuine, bone-deep sense of profound gratitude for what you already have without needing anything more to be at peace? The modern world is a finely tuned machine that runs on one fuel: your dissatisfaction. It is an engine of manufactured desire. It tells you 1,000 times a day in 1,000 different ways that you are not enough. You need the new phone, the better job, the perfect body, the flawless relationship. It trains your mind to be a hunter, constantly scanning the horizon for what is missing. Stoicism is the antidote. It is the practice of hunting for what is present. The Stoics used a powerful exercise called negative visualization, which we've discussed. They would actively imagine losing everything they hold dear: their home, their health, their loved ones, not to be morbid, but to achieve a state of radical appreciation, to then return to the present moment and be flooded with an overwhelming, almost painful sense of gratitude for the simple, beautiful fact that these things are still here, for now. As Epictetus, a former slave who knew more about loss than any of us, taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." True wealth is not about having what you want, it is about wanting what you have. Can you look at a simple meal and feel true joy? Can you appreciate the miracle of your own breath? Can you find richness in an ordinary conversation with a friend? So the fourth test is not about what you can achieve, it is about what you can see. Is your mind a hungry ghost, always chasing the next fleeting pleasure? Or is it a treasure hunter, constantly discovering the infinite riches that are already scattered at your feet? Your micro-exercise for this week: before you eat your first meal of the day, stop for 30 seconds. Look at the food. Think about the hundreds of people and processes that brought it to your table: the farmer, the trucker, the grocer. Feel a moment of genuine gratitude before you take the first bite. And finally, the fifth and most profound test, the mortality test. Imagine you have just received the news from an unquestionable source that this is your last day on Earth. The sun will set, and you will not see it rise again. You have 24 hours left. The hourglass is almost empty. The question is, looking back at your life and at how you had planned to spend this ordinary day, what would you instantly and deeply regret? What petty argument would suddenly seem utterly meaningless? What fear of judgment would evaporate like smoke? What small act of kindness or forgiveness would you rush to perform? What great work, what creative impulse, what true expression of your soul would you be devastated to leave locked inside you, unfinished? Memento mori. Remember, you will die. This is not a threat. It is a tool. It is the great filter of life. It is the ultimate test of what truly, fundamentally matters. The thought of death clarifies everything. It burns away the trivial, the foolish, the inessential. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote it to himself not as a philosopher, but as a commander of his own soul. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. You do not need a terminal diagnosis to wield this power. You can use it right now, this very second. Before you complain about your work, ask yourself, is this truly worth my final hours on Earth? Before you procrastinate on your calling, ask, if not now, when? The final test of your mental strength, then, is your relationship with your own mortality. Do you fear it and hide from it, distracting yourself with a life of triviality and noise? Or do you use it as your most trusted advisor, your ultimate motivator, the eternal fire in the forge that burns away everything that is not essential, leaving only the pure, unbreakable steel of your will? Your micro-exercise for this week. Set a random alarm on your phone for some time during the day. When it goes off, stop whatever you are doing and for 60 seconds, contemplate the fact that your time is finite. Then ask yourself, am I using this irreplaceable moment well? The test is over. Take a moment. How did you truly do? Be honest with yourself. Where are the cracks in your fortress? Where did the hammer blows of these questions reveal a weakness in the steel? Recognizing these weaknesses is not failure. It is the first, most crucial step in the forging process. You cannot strengthen a flaw you refuse to see. These 5 questions are not a one-time exam to be passed or failed. They are a lifelong practice. They are the tools you must bring to the forge every single day, to hammer your character into shape, to burn away the impurities of your ego, and to temper your will in the cold water of reason again and again until it is unbreakable. This is the work. This is the path. This is the promise of Stoicism. If you are ready to stop guessing about your strength and start the difficult, rewarding work of building it, then subscribe to Forge Your Will. Here, we don't just ask the questions, we live the answers together. The next test begins now, and it is up to you.